Okay, guys, I got myself in some trouble and I need your help. Okay, well, here's the deal. I put out a video about female friends and it's got some heat. It's got some controversy. It kind of blew up in a way that I wasn't expecting, and a lot of people beyond my channel saw the video and had their thoughts on it. In this video, I thought, hey, let me just have some fun and respond to some of these comments. There's some juicy ones and really kind of interesting ones. So let's buckle up and dive in. Wow, you are quite full of yourself. As a grown woman, I've had dozens of male friends in my life that I, nor he, have ever felt romantic about. It's called being an adult. Get over yourself. Dang, I was absolutely roasted there. I got to recover for a little bit here. Yeah, I think it's funny that she is 100% sure that none of these men have ever had romantic feelings for her. Maybe that's true, or maybe they just haven't told you. Here's what I want to clarify about the video specifically, and I think a lot of people understood this in the comments, in that video as well. And if you haven't watched it, I'm going to link it somewhere. It's all about should married men have female friends, and should men in general have female friends. I think it comes down a lot to the definition of friend. When I talk about a friend, okay, and maybe, I'm unique in my definition of friend. When I talk about like a real true friend, a friend is someone that I would text to see how they're doing. Somebody that I would go out for coffee with, that I would chat to individually, one-on-one. I have a lot of female acquaintances and what I might even call a friend in group scenarios, but it's not that next level, deeper friendship that's there. Because why? Because that's reserved for my wife. That's her only zone. Because men and women, the relationship they have is just naturally different. It's just naturally different. As a married man, we'll get into this, but it's just kind of weird that you would maintain a really deep or form a deep relationship with someone that's not your wife. Because even if you can convince yourself that there is no other intentions there, you don't know that on the other side. And to foster something like that ultimately is just really unhealthy, I would think, right? And that's kind of what I talked about in the video. I think there's this keen misunderstanding that you create boundaries because you're super weak and you're just super dangerous and you can't be alone with a woman, and you couldn't possibly be a friend with women because you just want to, be with her. And man, no, you create boundaries because you want to be wise, and not because you think that something's going to happen the second you step into a room with a woman alone. It's because you want to honor, especially as a married man, you want to honor the person that you're with. I'm glad I found this. My ex was supposed to stop communicating with his exes. I just wanted assurance if he was with me. Secular culture is exactly true in this sense. Thank you to men who have discernment and separate this when you're trying to do life with an exclusive partner or spouse. I appreciate this so much. It made me feel like I was doing something wrong for desiring just us and no emotional connection from him to another woman. This is not unreasonable at all to say that, hey, your emotional connection with a woman should stop with me, as the wife, as a girlfriend. You shouldn't need to diversify your love and female affection onto other people. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I know it's pretty common, but I just think it's dangerous, and it ends up being pretty messy. There's clearly an agenda in place to divide men and women. It's working, which is so sickening. What a lot of you don't realize is that we live in an over-sexualized generation, where people place too much emphasis on short-term relationships rather than substance. Sex over substance, topple that with self-discipline issues. That's the problem. I do think when we talk about male-female relationships in general, we can't neglect the reality of this over and hyper-sexualized culture. The fact that, honestly, probably like 60-70% of people are watching pornography on a daily basis. And how does that, or at least a weekly basis, how does that impact the way your brain works and how you think about the opposite sex, right? If you're constantly watching demeaning, degrading things done to women, how are you going to have a conversation with a woman? How are you going to see a woman in dignity and as an image bearer of God when you're constantly seeing them be demeaned and degraded? And That is a good point. I think we need to get our minds straight and detoxify ourselves from this over sexualized culture. Jesus said, if you look at a woman to lust after her, you've committed adultery with her in your heart. God cares about the heart, not just about the behavior. And this is why I think you put up those boundaries too, because look, it's not just about what you're going to do, but it's also about your heart posture. Am I looking to just play willy-nilly with my own life and my relationship, especially if you're married? Or are you going to put in boundaries because this matters so much to me? I don't want to screw it up. This other relationship, this other friendship isn't worth me messing up what I have here. Seeking an emotional bond and needs from the opposite sex when you have a partner never ends well. But I know it's not the case with every guy, but still there are chances for it to happen. I agree with this. If you have this deep need, I need to connect with this person, this female. I need this female attention and affection in some way because this is something that my wife can't give me, or this is something that I can't talk to my wife or my girlfriend. Red flag, like major red flag. I'm a girl who has strong feelings for her guy friend, and it got incredibly messy. He was dating someone, but would occasionally confide in me when they were having problems. Red flag, guys, red flag. He would flirt with me, then immediately regret doing so, which made me think he was starting to like me in the way that I liked him. You like that attention, and you feel like, oh, it's not gonna become anything. It's just we're just friends. When their relationship ended, I knew I needed space, but I told him I was there if he needed anything. After some time and space, we hung out and we ended up cuddling and made out. About a month went by when I hadn't heard from him, so I knew that wasn't a good sign. He reached out to me and admitted to not having feelings for me. He said he was sorry for ghosting me and that he had done that because he was afraid of hurting me, but realized he was only hurting me more by not being honest. Life is very confusing right now, and my heart is sad. For the guys watching, I want you to know how much power you have. You have a lot of power in the relationship dynamic with a woman. You have a lot of power, and God wants you to take care of a woman's heart, right? To not play with it, to not play games, to not just get what you want and get out. This guy, he got a cuddle, he got a make out session, and he dipped. Why? Because he didn't want to be honest. He was a coward. Right? He was a coward. You could see he was a coward before that because he was texting with this random girl when he was with someone else. Now, this might seem like aside from the point. This is kind of an extreme example, but ultimately when we talk about female friends, I want you guys to be careful. I want you guys to honor the relationships that you're in. And you might feel like, hey, I've been friends with this girl for, people said in the comments, I've been friends with this girl for 17 years and never felt romantic feelings for it. And I might say to that, cool, like if the relationship is healthy and it's not weird and, it's not like you're going out for coffee every Monday, and chatting it up and sharing all sorts of things. It's like, okay, if it's not like that, I've known this person and we've been in the same kind of group friendships for a very long time. And, my wife is friends with them and there's nothing weird that goes on. Cool. That's awesome. It's good to have long-standing friends, right? But it's about what you define as that friend. I wouldn't define that as a super close friendship because you need to put up boundaries and you need to understand the depth of that and how dangerous that could be if you begin to value that friendship over the friendship with your wife or begin to find needs in another woman that you're not finding in your wife. As a single guy, you might feel like, man, this is really nice because I like to share my heart and women want to listen. And so I'm going to share a lot of information. But the truth is that a lot of times, and maybe you recognize this, is that women take that on, especially if you're single, if you're both single, and if you're in an intimate setting, as man, he's really opening up to me. He really likes me. He really trusts me. And I'm not saying that she likes you, but she could. And by putting yourself in that situation, you're making it complicated for yourself. You're kind of playing with her heart. I want you to put up these boundaries because I want you to protect not only her, but I want you to protect yourself. This isn't the purity culture. Okay, just run away from women. Don't look at women. They're dangerous. They're, That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's reasonable boundaries that you should put in place as a single man and as a married man to honor your partner. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. I'd be really interested to hear some follow-up on this. And if you're interested in supporting what I do, join on Patreon in the link in my description. My mission is to help equip men to lead and love like Jesus. If that's a mission you want to get behind and support, click the link in my description. Until next time, keep pursuing the mission.